So today we will solve another genetic problem by taking help from the laws of Mendel's laws of inheritance, law of segregation, and law of independent assortment. So the problem statement of today problem is inherits the following genotypes of two independently assorting autosomal genes determine coat color. So if the genotype is capital A dash capital B dash, the gray coat color will be produced. If the genotype is capital A dash small b, yellow coat color will be produced. If the genotype is small a capital B dash, the black coat color will be produced. And if the genotype is small b, the cream coat color will be produced. So this is the different genotypic combinations which produce different phenotypes. A third gene pair on a separate autosome determines whether or not any color will be produced. So another gene, it determines whether a color will be produced or not. So this gene, if the genotype is capital C and capital C, small c genotypes allow color according to the expression of the capital A and capital B alleles. So the presence of dominant C allele will produce color according to the combinations of capital A and capital B alleles, which is given above here. However, the small c genotype results in albino rats regardless of the capital A and capital B alleles present. But the genotype homozygous recessive genotype with regard to C gene small c. So this genotype it results in albino rats regardless of the fact that the dominant A and dominant B alleles are present. So on the basis of this given data, predict the genotype and phenotype of the parents who produce the following offspring. So we have to determine on the basis of the given data that if the ratio in the offspring is like this, what would be the genotype and phenotype of the parents who produce these offspring? Number A, 9 by 16 gray, 3 by 16 yellow, 3 by 16 black, 1 by 16 green. So this is the data A and the B. 9 by 16 gray, 3 by 16 yellow, and 4 by 16 albino. So this is the our B part of the problem. So on the basis of these phenotypic ratios, we have to determine the genotype and the phenotype of the patients who produce these offspring. So let's start on the solution. So let's draw the diagram of this cross. Parent 1, parent 2. So by crossing these two parents, the following data was obtained. 9 by 16, 9 by 16 gray, 3 by 16 yellow, 3 by 16 black, and 1 by 16. 1 by 16 green. So this is the given phenotype ratio in the next generation. So when we look at this phenotype ratio, it is clear that the total number of offspring in the next generation comes out to be 16. So keep in mind that if the ratio in the next generation it comes out to be in 16s, it will predict that two genes they are in heterozygous form. In heterozygous form. So from the given data, we know that three genes are involved in the expression of the port color in this case. So if the phenotype ratio is in 16, two genes they are in heterozygous condition, so the third gene pair is in homozygous condition. So from the data now we have reached to this conclusion that two gene pairs are in heterozygous condition and one gene pair is a homozygous condition. So now in we have to determine, assess which gene pair is a homozygous condition. So we can consult the given data. So the data says that if the genotype is capital A dash capital B dash, the gray color would be produced. And if the genotype is capital A dash small b, yellow color would be produced. If the genotype is small a, capital B dash, black color would be produced. And if the genotype is small b, cream coat color would produce in the condition that capital C allele is present. So, and if the capital C allele is not present, the small c genotype would result in albino rats. So, in this ratio, there is no albino rat. It means that the genotype here, the third gene is capital C in homozygous condition. In homozygous condition. So, this pair is in homozygous condition. So, if it is in heterozygous condition, there must be an albino rat in the next generation. So now it is clear that the third gene, it is in homozygous dominant form, capital C, capital C. So we can write here. So one thing we have determined, that is genotype with regard to the C gene. So one thing we have determined, that both the parents, they have homozygous dominant condition with regard to the C gene, this condition, capital C, capital C. Similar is the case with regard to the second parent 2. So we have determined this first step, that both the parents, they have the genotype with regard to the C gene, capital C, and the parent 2 also capital C, capital C. Now, as I have told before, that the other two gene pairs, they are in heterozygous form. Only that this ratio can be produced in the next generation. So the genotype with regard to the other two genes, it is capital A, small a, and capital B, small b. Similarly is here, capital A, capital B, small b. So with the help of the given data, we have determined the genotype of the two parents very accurately, very precisely. So the next step is, we can write the phenotype of these two parents. So capital A, capital B, small b. In the presence of capital C, the phenotype would be gray. On the basis of the given data. So the parent 1 is with gray coat color. Similarly, the phenotype of parent 2 is also gray, because the genotype is capital A, capital B, small b, capital C, capital C. So this was our problem, that what is the genotype and phenotype of the parent. So we have determined the genotype and we have determined the genotype. So now we can confirm we can confirm whether this our result is okay. So we can check by making the gametes. So gametes produced by these two parents will be the same because both are parents. So the gametes from this parent would be capital A, capital B, capital C. And the second gamete would be capital A, small b, capital C. The third gamete would be small a, capital B, capital C. And the fourth one would be small a, small b, capital C. So these four types of the gametes are produced by the parent one. Similarly, because the genotype of the both parents are the same four types of gametes would be produced by this parent. So the four types of the gametes would be produced by this parent. Always remember to write the gametes in the italic form and the genotype also in the italic form. So now we draw the Punnett scale to determine the genotypic combinations in the next generation. So we can draw a Punnett scale. So write the gametes or the first parent in these columns and the second parent in the rows. For example, similarly the gametes of this parent right in these rows. So now we can make the combinations by taking the formation of the gamete from here, from one parent, and from here from the second parent. and write the combination. So this combination would be, so this would be capital A, capital A, capital B, and capital C, capital C. The capital A from this parent and the capital A from this parent, capital B from this parent and the capital B from this parent, capital C from this parent and the capital C from this parent. So similarly write the phenotype now. So because capital A, capital B and capital C are present, so the phenotype would be gray. So similarly make the other combinations. So this would be capital A, capital B, small b, capital C, capital C. So this would also be the gray because the dominant allele of each gene is present. Here would be capital A, small a, capital B, capital C, capital C. This would also be gray because the dominant form of each of the three genes are present. This would be capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital C is capital C. Similarly, this would also be, the phenotype would be gray because the dominant allele of each of the three genes is present. This would be capital A, capital B, small b, capital C, capital C. This would also be gray because a dominant allele of each of the three genes is present. This would be capital A, small b, capital C, capital C. Here is, this is a small b, but the capital C allele is present. So according to the given genotype and phenotype, here it would be yellow because the small b. So this is yellow. So this the genotype combination would be capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital C, capital C. This would also be gray because the dominant allele of each of the three genes is present in this case. This would be capital A, small b, capital C, capital C. So this would also be yellow because the homozygous recessive form of small b gene is present. This would be capital A, small a, capital B, and capital C, the gray, because a dominant allele of each of the three genes is available. This would be capital A, capital B, small b, capital C. It would also be gray. So here is the small a, capital B, capital C. So this is small a from taking the, considering the data. Here is small a, capital B dash, this genotype in the presence of capital C allele, dominant C allele, it is black. So this genotype would produce black coat color. So here is a small a, capital B, small b, capital C. So this would also be black. So in this case, capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital C, small c. This would be gray because a dominant allele of each of the three genes is available. This would be capital A, small b, capital C, capital C. Here is the small b in presence of a dominant C allele, so this would be yellow with yellow coat color. So here is the small a, capital B, small b, capital C, capital C. So this, because the homozygous recessive condition with regard to the A gene, small a, so this would be with black coat color. So this would be small a, small b, capital C, capital C. So this would be because the small a, small b. So the condition, this condition, it would be cream. So by counting, we can look that we can count gray 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are gray here. Okay. Then we can count the yellow. Yellow are 1, 2, and 3. 3 are the yellow. Then is the black. So 1, 2, 3. So we can look, 3 are the black, and this one is only the green. So we have completed the combinations, genotypic combinations in the next generation by taking help by drawing the Punnett scale, and these genotypic combinations they produce the phenotypes same according to as the ratio given in the problem. So it means that the genotype for the parents which we have predicted is okay, and also the phenotype which we have given is okay. So this is the solution of the A part of the problem. So it is hoped that by taking help from the solution of part A, the solution of part B would be very easy. So by taking help from the solution of the A component, the solution of the B component can be given. So we can finish here.